All right, guys, welcome to one more session. In this particular session, let's say the agenda for this session is basically we'll understand about some file display commands. So we know something like cat, right? So there are other display commands also like less, more, etc. We will see some file display commands. We'll understand a command called as grep. We will discuss about pipes and we'll understand how to monitor users. Okay, and we will see some system utility commands like uptime, hostname, which, cal, etc. Okay, this is the agenda for today's particular session. Now let's start discussing about file display commands. So let me make a note here. File display commands. Okay, we have basically four file display commands. One is called as cat. We know that with the help of cat command, it will show the contents in a file. Now we also have another command called as less and another command called as more. The next command in the file display commands would be head and tail. Okay, these are the different commands that we have to display the files. One is called as cat, second is called as less, third is called as more, head and tail. Now what we'll do is that let us create one file with lot of content in that, and let us apply each of these files, each of these commands on the file, and understand how these commands are behaving. Okay, let me switch to my server. I have my server on GCP. Let me go to my Unix server. I'll connect with SSH. Before that, let me take some content. So I want to create a file which has a lot of data in that. So let me copy some data from the net. Okay, that's enough. Let me copy this. Okay, now let me go to the instance. Let me SSH to this instance. Okay, it is transferring the keys. So once this virtual machine is created, I'll create a file and put that data in that particular file and run these commands, and let's see how it behaves. Okay, clear. Now let's say vi demo file, enter. I is to insert the data. Now I'm pasting all the data which I have copied, right? Escape. I am saving it and exiting out. Okay. Now, what is our display commands? We have a lot of display commands, right? One is cat, less, more, head, and tail. So we already know cat, but let us execute cat one more time and just check cat and the file name, demo file. So it is showing me all the data which is there in this particular file. Okay. So now let's say it is showing me all the file, but I just want to see the top, what is there on the top of this file. So now when I run cat, it is showing me the ending, right? So if I want to see what is there on the first few lines, okay, I have to scroll up. Now instead of that, I can use something called as head and the file name. Okay, what is the file name? Demo file, right? So now instead of cat, I'm using head, head and demo file, enter. Now if you see, I'm able to see only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, only the top lines. Okay. So now if you see here, the cat command showed me everything which is there. But a head command, I'm able to see only the top lines which is there in that particular file. Now by default, it shows around 10 lines. Now let's say I'm using something called as head hyphen n, okay, 5 and demo file, okay, enter. Now you see, it is showing me only the top 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hyphen m, n stands for number. Now if I say hyphen 10, it is showing me the top 10 lines from this particular file. So that is how you can use head. So basically cat command, I mean, cat is basically a short form for concatenate. Now it displays everything which is there in that particular file. Okay. Now there is one more use of cat also. Let's say I have two files. Okay. Um, let's say cat f1. This is line 1. Okay. Control D. Now cat f2. This is second line. Control D. Now if I use a cat, okay, cat f1 and f2, f3, okay, enter. Now let's say what is there in f3, cat f3. You see both the lines are there. So basically cat is called as concatenation. So if you use in this way, we can see whatever is there in file 1 and file 2. Okay, that is how we can use cat and head. Head is basically to see the top lines, and if I use hyphen n, it will show only that number of lines that I desired to see. Now let us see tail and the file name, demo file, enter. Now if you see, this is showing me the bottom 10 lines. Okay, if you look here in our file, you see this is bottom 10 lines, right? So this is showing me the bottom 10 lines. Okay, that is what a tail is. Now for tail also you can give number, tail hyphen n 5, let's say demo 5, enter. Now you'll see only the bottom 5 lines here. So if I give, let's say, let me clear this out. Okay, and let's say I'm giving bottom 10 line, let's say 15 lines. Okay, it will show the 15 lines. That is the use of a tail command if you want to see the contents of the file which is at the end of the file. Now we understood cat, we understood head, we understood tail. Now let us understand what is less and more. Okay, let me go back to my console here. Let's say I want to see all the contents of the file, but it should show only one page at a time. Okay, let's say clear. Okay, let me use the syntax called as less and the file name. Okay, now what happens? It is showing me full one page. Okay, now if I scroll down, it will keep showing me the all other lines in that particular page. Okay, so basically it will show by default, it will show whatever fits for one page, and if I keep scrolling down, it will keep showing me all the contents of that particular file. If I want to exit, I can just press Q. Okay, I can just press Q and it will exit from the less mode. Okay, similarly we also have a more command. More command is basically similar to less. It also displays files one page at a time. But however, unlike less, more only supports forward scrolling and does not allow backward scrolling. Okay, when viewing a file with more, you can press the space bar to scroll down or press the enter key to scroll down one line. Okay, to view a file with more, we can use the command more and the file name. Enter. Okay, now I can only go down either by pressing enter or spacebar. But can I go up? I cannot go up. Okay, but in a less, I can go up or down. But here, I can only go upward, forward. I cannot go backward. Okay, if you want to exit, you can also press escape, Q here. Okay, press Q. It will come out of that more command. Okay, that is how you use this four display commands. Sorry, five display commands. One is cat, second one is less, third one is more, fourth is head, next one is called as tail. All right, now let us discuss about the next keyword is called as grep. Now what does a grep will do? Now grep, you can say grep is a command. It will help us to search for the patterns or strings or within a files or within a streams. What does that mean? Let me go to that particular file. Okay, now let me use cat and demo file. Okay, now I want to search for the lines which has data. Okay, I want to search for the lines which has word data in that. I can use something very simple. Grep the name of the word, let's say data, right? Okay, let's say data and the file name demo. The file name is demo file, right? And enter. Now you see, these are the lines in that particular file which has a data in it. So if you see every line here, there will be data in it. Data, okay, data engineer, data. So every line has a data in that. Okay. Now let's say it is only taken D starting with capital, right? Now I want to list data starting with capital D also, small d also. That means making case insensitive. How can I do that? Again, use the word data. Use the word grep hyphen I. Okay, this will make to search case insensitive. It will match. Now, basically, I'm just making a note here. It will match data also, date also. Okay, that is what is the option hyphen I. Let me enter this. Now you see I have more lines. So basically capital D also it is captured, and small see lowercase d also captured. Okay, that is how we can perform case sensitive matches. Now we can also perform the same thing inside a directory. Okay, and let's say we also have another option called as hyphen n. Okay, let me use this hyphen n. Enter. Now it is showing with numbers. You see here, it is showing how many times data. Okay, it is showing with numbers here. So this basically adds the number of lines to the output. So I think this is the number, line number 4 in that file, line number 7 in that file, line number 9 in this particular file. So this is not like in this line how many times data is there. So this in that particular file, this line number is called as 4. Okay, so that is how it can also give you the line numbers in that. Now let us say uh, it can also search the patterns in multiple files. Okay, now let's say ls, I have what is there in cat f1. This is line 1. What is there in cat f2? Okay, let's search for this word this. Okay, now we can say grep. Okay, pattern I want to search is this in f1 as well as f2. Okay, in both the files I want to search. You see, it is searching. This is line 1. In this it is saying that this is there in this first line is there in file 1, the second line is there in a file. Okay, that is how we can use grep and search for pattern in multiple files also. Now we also have one more super option. Let's say instead of giving names here, if I give something like hyphen v data in a demo file. So basically this one is called as invert matching. That means it will give me all the lines which does not have data in it. Okay, none of these lines contains data. Okay, I mean again, this is capital, so it will have small data, but it will not have capital data. Okay, that is what is invert matching. Let me clear this out. Now let's say I want to invert match the case sensitive, so we can use grep hyphen v hyphen I data and demo file. Now you see the capital letter data is also not there, small letter data is also not there. So that is how we can use grep command. It is very powerful and very flexible. We can commonly use this for searching and filtering the test, making it a very valuable tool for working with files and directories on Linux. Okay, that is about grep. Next, let us discuss about this syntax called as pipe. Now, pipe, it's a very powerful syntax on Linux. Basically, it will allows you to connect the output of one command to the input of another command. So with the help of that, we can create complex command pipelines. Okay. Now the syntax for this would be, so let's say command one, command 2. Okay, this is the syntax of it. Okay, let us run this syntax and let's check. Then we'll understand more about pipe. Now let us say I'm just giving you we are running a syntax here called as ls. Okay, now how many files we see? Demo file, f1, f2, f3, right? So this is the output of this command ls. Now what I want to do, I want to see this uh, contents in this file f3. Okay, or let's say content in the file f2. Okay, let's see first of all what is there in f2. Cat f2, I can say second line. Okay, let me copy this. Now let's say I can use pipe ls pipe grep. What is the pattern I want to see? This second line. Okay, and let me run this. So I think this will run. Okay, now you see this command gave the output of f1, f2, f3, and this has queried for us. Okay, let us look for a different example which would be more easy to understand. Let's say uh, cat f1. Okay, and I'm giving pipe here. Now let's say there is another syntax called as word count hyphen l that will show how many words it is there. Now let me run this. Now you see word count is 1. Now what is there in cat f1? So basically there is one line, right? So we can see one. The answer is 1. Okay, now let us run this f3 word count hyphen l. You see there are two lines in this. I can see two lines. So now how did this word count came to know that it has to run on f1? So basically cat f1, what it'll do? It will display the contents of the file, and that output would be the input of this particular command wc hyphen l. Okay, that is what we use basically pipes. Okay, if you want to run two commands, like output of one command should be the output of another command. Sorry, output of this first command will be the input of this particular command. There we can use something called as grep. Okay, I'm sorry, there we can use something called as pipe. Okay, that is what is piping is all about. You can run, you can create complex pipelines with that. Okay, that is about file display commands, grep and pipe. Now let us understand a couple of commands about how to monitor users. Okay, commands to monitor users. Now there are multiple commands for this. One is who, second one is last, third one is w. We also have something called as finger and id. Okay, these are the four commands. I mean, five commands. There are a lot of other commands, but these are the basic and mostly used commands to monitor users. Now, why do we have to monitor users? Because it is not only important that we create users, we should also understand which user is doing what he's doing, etc. Okay. Now, let me go to the console and let's see. Let's run these commands and see. Now, I know most of you know who I am. It will show, sorry, who Yeah, my. It will show which user has been logged in. Now, if you use the syntax who, it basically shows how many users have been logged in, at which shell, what is the prompt they're using, what time they have logged in, all the information. If there are 10 users logged into this server, it will show all the 10 users name here. That is what the syntax who will do. Now, why it is showing 0 and 1? Because I have opened two terminals here. If I have to show you guys, you see there is one more terminal here. Okay, that's why it is showing two terminals. Now, let's say I'll open one more terminal. Let me go here. I'll open one more terminal. Okay, in this terminal also I'm logging in. Okay, it is the system is trying to log in to this particular server. Okay, now we are logged in here. All right, now let me go back and run this who command and let's see what happens. Okay, now let's say who. Now basically you see here it is showing three terminals. That means basically if one user logs into 10 terminals, it will show this many terminals are there. That is the importance of, or this is what the output of who command, who logged in, which terminal, terminal 0, terminal 1, terminal 2, and then what time they have logged in. Okay, that is what you will get the information from the syntax who. Now the next command is the command last. So this command, if you see here, it shows the list of all users that they are logged in from the time this server is created. Okay, from the time we have working with this server. So I have logged in with only one user from the time this server has created. So it is showing this. Okay, so it will show all the users who have logged in with the server. Now reboot is the system logged in. Okay, so that is about the syntax called as last. Let's say let us understand one more small syntax called as awk. Okay, now let's say here it is showing me the first column the username, second column what terminal, third column IP address, etc, etc, right? I just want to see the name of the users. I don't want to see all other output. Then what I can do, last. Now we have learned pipe, right? So I want this last output to input to a next command. Next command I'm giving something called as awk. I'm saying print dollar one. So dollar one stands for first column. If you want to print second column, it will be dollar two. Okay, and then run. Control C. Okay, I have to close this. Enter. Now, if you see, I'm able to see only the first column. So that way you can use the syntax AWK as well to print, or we can do multiple options. One of the option I can print the columns. Okay, so in the output there will be a lot of columns, right? Let's say ls ls hyphen l. You see ls hyphen l, there are a lot of options, right? Now let's say I want to use, I can use like this. Okay, I want to see the names of the users, or else just the names of the files here. So it'll be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, $7, enter. It is 6. uh Okay, I used ls hyphen only ls, so I need to use ls hyphen. Yeah. So output of ls is only this three, right? So there is no seventh column. That is the reason there is no output. Ls hyphen l print two. Now you see it is showing me all the numbers here. Now let's say ls hyphen print 6. Okay, sixth column is May. It is showing me all the May column 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's say it is showing me all the file names. Okay, that is how we can use pipe awk. Okay, that's how we can use keyword last. Now let us say, okay, when I use this syntax, what happens? Let's say, okay, last awk print. Now, come on, let me run this one more time. It is giving me users who are logged in. Same username is repeated a lot of times, right? But I just want to have a unique names. That means if one user has logged in 10 times, I want that to be listed only one time. Okay, that we can use a function by name sort. Okay, sort and print the unique names only. Okay, I'll give unique and enter. Now you see, now only the three users Ramya, Reboot and WTMP, only three are listed. Okay, sort will actually sort all the list, and unique it will remove the duplicates. Unique will remove the duplicates. Okay, you learned unique also. What unique will do? It will remove the duplicates. Okay. Okay. Now let me go back to the console, clear it. Now I think we already saw this command called as ID. So this ID, it will show what is the user, what is the group ID, okay, which part of group it is there, etc., etc. All the details about that particular user it will show if you give the syntax called as ID. Okay, the next syntax which is called as finger. Okay, this is by default it is not there. Sudo apt install. Okay, now this does not come with the default distribution. We have to download that. To download that, we can use the syntax sudo apt install, and I'm installing a package called as finger. Okay, now if you see finger, it is showing what is the user who has logged in, how many terminals, what is the idle time. That means from how much time this user is not using but that particular terminal, what is the login, what is the time, etc., etc. All other details are displayed in the syntax called as finger. Okay, that is also a useful command. Let me clear it. Now you see the syntax w, the other command I was telling you, w, right? W also, which is similar to syntax who, okay, but it gives little more information about from which IP it is logging in. Okay, what is the login time? Okay, login time is there here also. What is the ideal? So little more information than who syntax. That is about W. Okay. So now we understood who, we understood last, we understood unique, we understood W, we understood finger and ID. So this is how we can understand which users are logged in, how they are logged in, etc., etc. Okay. So we understood file display commands. We understood what is a grep. We have worked with pipe. We understood about monitoring users. Now let us see some of the system utility commands. Okay, there are a couple of system utility commands to check from when the system is up, etc., etc. Okay, let me go back to my console. First, let me make a list of all the system utility commands here. One is date, second one is uptime, third one is host name, fourth one is uname, We'll say which, cal, bc. These are the some of the system utility commands. Let us run these commands and let's understand more about them. Let's go to the console. Okay, the first one is date, right? Let me run date. So the system will basically show what is the date, time, etc. Okay, I'm there in a UTC, so date will be little change will be there. And let's say uptime, from how long this system is up. Okay, so it is saying from last 2 days this system is up. Okay, now let's say host name. What is the name of this system? The system name is instance one. Okay, so basically if you want to know details of this all the server, we can use this syntaxes. Now the next one is u name. Okay, what is the distribution of Unix version on this? This is basically a Linux mission, so it is showing Linux. Let's say the next syntax is which. Okay, which it is not showing any output. Okay, now the next syntax is cal, command not found. So that did not come by default. Okay, I think this is not in Linux distribution. We can forget about it as of now. Okay, let's forget about this cal, bc, and which as of now. So the system utility commands basically date, uptime, host, unit. Okay, that four are more than enough. But let me explain about which. Okay, now which command? Let's say now I'm running this command called as pwd. It is showing me some output, right? Now let's say where is this command pwd is located. Let's say we can use which pwd. Now you see this has been located in user slash bin. Now when I told you about different directories that we have, one of the directory that we discussed is bin, and I told you all the commands that could be executed by users will be there in this folder bin, right? So this command pwd is there in this particular bin. Now let's say which ls. You see this is also command which is there in this binaries. Okay, that is the use of this syntax called as which to understand where is this particular command files are located. Okay, let's remove this. Okay, so we have discussed about date, uptime, host name, uname, and which. All right, so what we have discussed today, we basically have discussed about uh, file display commands. We understood a grep command, pipe. So pipe is basically whatever we can run two commands. One command output would be the input of the second command. We know how to monitor users, and we have discussed about some system utility commands. So display commands are like cat, less, more, head, tail. Grep, we can give a pattern. Okay, pattern basically in the files or in the directories you want to search for some pattern, or we can say filter for a pattern. Okay, pipe, the one command input output of command one will become as input of command two. Monitor users who last, unique, w, finger. Okay, we also discussed about sort. Okay, and we discussed about the system utility commands. Okay, this is what I have for today's session, guys. I hope you guys will practice this, and I will see you guys in the next session. Take care.